So it is 9 o'clock on the 4th of July, Thursday. My plan had been to get out of town on Wednesday. And Wednesday morning came and still had a couple of videos to upload, still had a package to mail out. Maybe I didn't use my time wisely, but it seemed like everything I tried to do, something happened. Go to the post office, can't pick up a package, or need to mail a package out and there's a problem or something. And then with the buses, every time you have to wait for a bus, there's another half hour. Time just flew by. So I mailed off a package, came to the campground, got a tent site, and sat and just spent a couple of hours finishing up the videos. Ran up to McDonald's, got a double quarter pounder, and uploaded the videos. The Wi-Fi was surprisingly fast. And now I'm going to see if I can hitch out of town on July 4th. See how long it takes. It's been about 15 minutes, and one person stopped, but they were only going a few miles up, and I think it's better to try to get the hitch all in one. Well, I'm at Myers, a little town a little bit farther south of South Lake Tahoe. Somebody else offered me a ride here, said that they thought I'd have better luck hitching, so I'm going past this roundabout here, and that way anybody going that way, you know they're going the same way I am. So it is 10:30 now, so I'm gonna be, if I make it to trail, it'll be late, or in a few hours I might turn around and start trying to hitch back to South Lake Tahoe. Well, it was maybe 5-10 minutes on the other side of that roundabout that lady picked me up, gave me a ride. Could have gone like another mile up, but I wanted to get dropped off here because I spent 15 minutes searching around. This is kind of like the last possible place that I could have lost that hat. So I'm going to get back on trail. It is 11 o'clock. That means I've got a lot of hiking to get done before it gets dark. Need to get through the Desolation Wilderness, but ready to get started. Heading up that way. This is actually the Pony Express Trail. I think it was about a half mile till I meet up with the Pacific Crest. It was just thought I'd show this area that had gotten burned. Going up that way. The trail I was following is all but disappeared. I can just barely make it out. So I might just go over and walk on the shoulder. I think that's what I'm going to end up doing, because there's no trail here. Yes, I have to do miles today, but at the same time, folks were good enough to come and set up trail magic. Oh, look at that flower. And so I couldn't just walk by. That would be rude. So went down to say hi, drank a Coke, and now I am getting on the PCT for real. It is now 11:30. It's a mile and a quarter up to Echo Lake. And this road, I could take it and get there. Just crossed over there. However, I am in a hurry, but not in a hurry enough to sign up for an extra mile of road walk. Gonna have some uphill. Still early, I'm feeling good. It would have been really easy to stay in town. They were gonna have a little parade. They were gonna have fireworks, but it's Thursday. I got to town on Sunday. It was just too much. And somebody commented, had a good point, that it's easy to do an extra day in town, and every extra day in town is another day for a wildfire to get ahead of you on trail. So I'm ready to start doing some bigger miles and some less time in town. So here's Echo Lake, and the trail's going to run alongside of it for a ways. But right over here, there's a little store It's got ice cream and snacks and stuff, I'm sure. I don't need any of that. And then this little spillway here. Now I'm ready to get going. Coming from over there. Got plenty of rocks to walk around. Going that way. And I'm going to be looking at the lake for a while. Coming up from that way. Starting a couple miles of uphill. Doesn't look terribly steep. I think it's less than 500 foot in a mile. At the far end of Echo Lake. And the trail's just not been easy. Tree roots, rocks, loose rocks. So I'm not flying up the trail. I'm going up that way. So I'm almost done with the steep uphill. Coming up from down there. And the loose rocks, it's hard to go fast. I'm doing all right. About a quarter mile from where it starts to round off the top, and then eventually it'll start going down. Going up there and then switching back and going over there. I'm coming from that way, and I'm over the top, and for the next several miles, it's generally more down than up. Still little snow patches, but this is nice. There's more shade, and like I said, more down than up. What more could I want? Less rocks. And it's like 4 o'clock, so I don't know how many more miles I have in me, but I'll do as many as I can. Coming from over there. And this is Lake Aloha. And all these little rocks, islands, some of them I think are underwater from when I came by in 2017. But this was one of the most beautiful spots of the whole trail. And I hated having to walk by it last time. So, said I'd be back, and now I'm back. But I still got to keep going. There are campsites, well, maybe not here, but over there, all over the place. And a lot of them have people in them already. I imagine this was a very popular spot for people to come for the 4th of July. I can't use super steady with zoom on, so I'm going to try this again. But it used to look like there's thousands of little islands out there, and a lot of those rocks are underwater now. Still, I mean, it's still gorgeous. It's still beautiful. So whenever I was here before, it was in the fall, and the water level was quite a bit lower. Because I don't know if you can see it on here, but there's a lot of rocks just below the surface of the water, and they made it look like thousands of islands out there. And I said I was going to have to come back, and here I am. Now I think I need to come back again, plan to camp, maybe bring a portable kayak or something. And don't worry, I'll be getting more shots. Whenever I was getting this view of the lake from standing down there on some rocks, came back up and I was like, well, let me start looking for where I think I might end the day. And realized I'd at the 1100 mile mark. And and I had not noticed these rocks were laid out for 1100. So, got to get a selfie and then keep moving for a few more miles anyway. Well, I'm past Lake Aloha and got a couple of miles of mostly downhill before I expect to find a campsite. And I'm in the shadow of this mountain, so it makes it a lot nicer and cooler. But trail's going to go down that way and switch back, and I came from up there. I didn't say anything, but you might have noticed it was pretty dry a few miles getting up here. So I'm going to get me a drink. Going that way. And there's a marmot. Coming from that way, and this is Heather Lake. And the water is super clear. And I'm going that way. So that's a full-sized log there, maybe 1.5 to 2 foot wide. And that is a huge snow cave. Oh, sorry. I could almost stand up in there. Well, trail's there, and there's a lot more rocks. And this is Suzie Lake. And maybe I'll be able to get some good shots of it without glare from the sun. Now I'm going that way. Well, it's 6:30 and it's the 4th of July. The trail's going to be crowded and tent sites are going to be limited. So, talking to I imagine he's a Tahoe Rim Trail hiker going the opposite direction. He said that pretty much all the tent sites he saw the way I was going were already full whenever he went by earlier. But went well off trail, looked at the topo map, and I found a spot that somebody's used before. You can kind of see a trail, like not a well-defined trail, but like a social trail. So, water's way over there. The trail's way over there. Those are the two requirements. You know, be away from the trail, be away from water, and don't have a fire. So, I bet the soil's rocky as heck, but I'm going to see if I can get my tent pitched, get some water, make dinner. Plan to get up tomorrow and do, I don't know, 25, 30, maybe 40 miles. That's my water source for tonight. Outlet from Lake Suzie. I don't know what the sunset's going to look like. This is a nice view. And hopefully I'll catch the sunrise. Oh, not a bad pitch. It's a little rocky, but it's fairly flat and level. Got all the stakes pounded in better than 3/4. So, all right. Have a good night.